Good morning, my Teaser King family. How is everybody today? I am fine. I just want to check for sound. I got a full bar, so I don't know if I'm live or not. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Okay, we got sound. Sometimes it comes up with the bubbles, and usually I don't get sound, or people say I can't hear you. So I don't want to start talking and then nobody can hear me. So, anyway, good morning, my Teaser King family. Happy Sunday. We're already August 2nd. It's just incredible how time goes so fast. But that's life, so you need to enjoy it. You have really no other alternative. You either like it or you don't like it. And if you don't like it, then what do you do? It's real quick. So, watching these episodes on Amazing Race, it's on Tubi, and they got like 10 episodes. An episode is like season 19, and they get 10, 11 episodes, and season 20, season 21. So, you watch it, and the more you watch it, the more you worry about the people are so stupid on this show. I mean, this last season I watched, there was two couples. So a boy and a girl. One was like married, getting divorced. The other one was dating. And it was pathetic. The guy's yelling at the girl's yelling back at the guy. I don't want to watch this. This isn't appropriate TV. So you sit there and you listen to it, and it's you feel like this is what's out there now, a bunch of crazy people yelling and screaming at each other. No respect for the other person. This is what I feel the new generation is. This is, it's very terrible to see this. So the guys have no respect for the girls. The girls are the dumbest things I've ever seen. They can't do anything. Sometimes you see two guys together. They're not gay. They're just friends or something. They seem to win a lot because they're good. Or if you get a guy with like a tomboy girl who's athletic, they seem to do well. So the best ones are probably the father-daughters, if it's not the two guys that do well in the race. But the boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife, they're always yelling at each other. And you're just sitting there going, what a great marriage you guys have. Unbelievable. And, so they come on, well, we're going to win the $1 million. You're not going to win the $1 million. You have no way. And I was telling you, these two agents, I don't know what they were. They didn't say FBI or whatever. And if they're agents, we're in a lot of trouble because these people were idiots. They couldn't do anything. And then they kept lying about it, saying they were kindergarten teachers. And this other team called them out on it. Says, "What do you really do? You're not kindergarten teachers." And they kept lying. These are our agents. They're fucking liars. All I know is I wouldn't trust anybody. I wouldn't trust agents, somebody, FBI, whatever. I wouldn't trust them at all. So hopefully we won't have to come across that. Anyway, so that's my take on it. Um, these reality shows are really a mess. They're really stupid. Um, it's just a way of getting the people you don't have to pay. So you do your show, but you don't have to pay these people. So I love how they call it it's a race around the world. And you're in Africa. Who the fuck cares? Oh, there's a baby giraffe. Doesn't he cute? Well, go to the zoo. Like, seriously, what the fuck? Um, so they're wondering, they're all excited about Africa. I wouldn't want to go there. I'd never go there. If I go there, it'd be like Morocco because I saw it on Mission Impossible. Or Egypt, I think, is a nice place to go. But I'll stick with Germany or Spain or Portugal, Amsterdam. Anyway, just some off the subject stuff. I don't like about the game is that he gives up free pass and he says, "Oh well, this is a non-elimination race." That'd be like playing a football game and saying, "Well, yeah, you lost 21-0, but the game really doesn't count." And it really irks me that he does that because if you come in last place, you're eliminated, right? So you got 11 teams, and the guy who comes in last, now you got 10 teams and go down. And I think it's based on if he likes the team or not. Well, this is a non-elimination race. And you're like, what the fuck? They were eliminated. They're gone. They came in last place. You can't have two sets of rules. So that really angst me about the show either, also. But mostly it's the people bitching at each other, cutting in line above each other. You've got to play the game properly. You know, it's hard to it'd be cheating like in other sports like football. Well, they're throwing two balls out there or something. Anyway, I don't like the game is really unfair because I think it depends who's on the mat, and then he decides it's not an elimination, right? And if he doesn't like him, you're eliminated. I think that comes into play, and mostly it's determined by a bad taxi driver. And the guy gets lost and the team loses because the guy drove 2 hours out of the way. I think what he should do on the clues is say, this is 10 minutes away. This is an hour away. And then instead of wasting your whole day because you don't know, because it's a strange country, you would go early, or they should give like directions on the clue. It's a half mile this way. It's 20 minutes this way or something. I mean, because that's not the race isn't the cab driver, right? Cab driver gets lost. That's not part of the race. So, I don't know. There's a lot of problems I have with it that it's really turning me off. But I'd like to see the country. So it's like, I don't want to hear the bitching. I don't want to see the cab. I just want to, oh, there's Amsterdam. Yeah, Germany. They've been to Germany quite a bit. So anyway, the other problem is he made people drink a big boot of beer. And, I can't have sugar. I got to be careful with my sugars. I'm going to get killed because I drank a lot of beer. I'm going to sue your ass. Yeah, I would pass on that. Sorry, I'm diabetic. I can't drink a whole thing of beer. Anyway, all right. We'll talk about gold and silver and all that. Again, coming up, it should be going to the moon, but it'll be a little bit. And so it always goes to the question, why are they blocking it? Why are they blocking gold and silver from going up? Why would the central bank of the U.S., who does not have any gold, be blocking the gold from going up? And the only thing you can, if we use logic, it's because they want you in the banks to run the country, and the banks want you in the stock market because that's where they make commission on you. That's the only thing, and or other countries want the price down so they can buy it, which works for a while, but there's not a whole lot of physical gold left for you to really be keep blocking it. So as we run out of gold with this low price, this is a buyer's market. It's been a buyer's market since 1971. As soon as they put COMEX in, it's a buyer's market. And yet it still went from $35 to $5,000. So it still went up, even though they're trying to keep the price down. So I can't figure that out. But gold and silver physical is the place to be. They're running out of dollars. They're killing the value of it. They don't understand it, or they do. It doesn't really matter. That's what's happening. So they're fucking everybody who they're supposed to represent. So this whole government, it's like we can vote on the 4th. So on Tuesday, there's voting. I wouldn't vote. Who are you going to vote for? Which idiot are you going to vote for in the most corrupt government in the world, in the history of the world? Maybe the Romans. And again, it's the corrupt government that always brings the country down. So we're in big trouble here. We're in a depression, although nobody really talks about it, so nobody really understands it. Prices are up. That is not inflation. That's prices going up. That's more or less the dollar being inflated, losing its value. And so then people think the prices are up. And they say, oh, that's 2% inflation. It is such bullshit. Inflation is not 2%. It's not 100%. It's not 1,000%. You can't measure it. All you have is you've printed $100 trillion, and it's worthless. So that's why we buy the physical gold. So they kind of deter people from being independent. There's no taxes on the gold. If it goes from 2,000 to 4,000, you don't pay a penny in taxes. It's not, even though in our world it's income earned, it's not, we don't pay tax on it. There's no W-2, and we have it, and it goes up. And they don't want you to have it and go up. And this is our government. This is why I say, do not listen to the government. Do not listen to these agents. If you're going on a show and you lie that you're kindergarten teachers, and then somebody presses you on it because they're also like border agents and they know the lingo and said, teachers, and they keep with the story even though they've been found out. That's pretty sad. And if these are agents, they're pathetic. I mean, it's like, you got to be kidding me. So, anyway, this is the problem. So so they keep it away because they don't want everybody to buy gold and get out of the dollar, because everybody would be free then. That's your freedom, is your gold. I'm retired because I got gold. Alyssa says, well, are you retired? How does that feel? I said, it feels great. I never have to worry about the dollar going down. I don't have to worry about the stock market. I don't have to worry about the banks stealing my money. It's great because I've taken the catalyst out. I'm not sitting on $500,000 of worthless money, or have my money $1 million in the stock market just before it crashes. Oh, Howard, what are you talking about? It's not going to crash. It will. It has to crash. It's being kept up by fake dollars, and it should have crashed a long time ago, but they keep pumping money in. Oh, and it just happens to be these 4 or 5 popular stocks, NVIDIA and Amazon and Apple and all that. And they all think they make a lot of money by having TV networks, the Apple network, the Amazon network. And they all think, oh, well, I got to buy stock because of that. Who watches them? Nobody's watching these. I saw like a movie ad when I was watching something on Paramount. Am I going to go buy Paramount because there's this bullshit movie that I don't want to watch on it? Why do they think we want to buy these streaming services? We don't. I mean, Netflix has scammed their way up to the $19.99, which I'm about to dump because now they're showing one or two football games. Yeah, great. I don't care. I'm not going to pay to watch the game. I just pay for that. But the movies are ridiculous. My list, you know how you have your list of favorites is like, you know, it's shrunk down to like 15 now. And any, you know, what am I going to get? Oh, Batman's going to be on again. Oh, you know, I've seen that 15 times. They don't give you like Blockbuster where here's the whole inventory and pick a couple. This is ridiculous. There is no inventory. There's this very little inventory of repeatable movies. Oh, Spider-Man's on this. Oh, yeah, I'm going to watch that for the third. What am I going to watch it 15 times for the month? So you watch it once and then you go, fuck this, I've seen it enough. And then you don't even want to go into Netflix. I'd rather go into Tubi and watch The Amazing Race. At least it's something I haven't seen, although they kill you with commercials there. So basically, I don't get the streaming services really having any value. Watching dumb movies and there's no TV shows you really want to watch. They're so bad. And that's why we stick to sports. And I got the antenna and ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. So I got what I want on my TV. I don't need to watch. I'm not going to pay for terrible movies that have gone like really bad lately. So, but then why are the stocks so high? Why are these particular stocks going up? Amazon and Apple. Amazon's just a delivery service. I've never used Amazon. I think one time I used them for coin holder, and it wasn't as advertised. It was supposed to be big enough for the Eagles. So in other words, it has to be big enough for the eagle in the holder, but it was big enough for the eagle not in the holder. Well, I want to keep my gold in holders. I want to protect it. So I kind of sent them back. You're going to buy food from them? You're going to buy clothes from them? You got to be out of your mind. So I don't really get that. And they're obviously boosting them up. And they're obviously printing money, put it into the stock market. So they can say, geez, look how good the stock market is. So the economy must be good. I don't really understand the correlation to a strong economy and a strong stock market, especially when you're printing money and putting it in there. That's bullshit. So again, they're looking at the wrong thing. And I find that happens a lot. People look at the wrong thing and they see something like analytics or AI, and they see it, but it doesn't really work, but they just see it. And, we've talked about analytics in baseball, how it doesn't work. Well, it's on base percentage. That's more important than batting average. In what world is that true? No, it's not true. Batting average is much more important because I want a guy who can hit and get on base and drive in runs. It's about driving in runs, not getting on base. Walking does not help you. So it's so stupid, but then nobody challenges it. Nobody sits there and goes that. And that's how basketball was until this year when the Knicks said, fuck it, we're driving the lane and getting in to the paint. And we're blowing out teams by 50 points. And when we beat San Antonio and Winnebago, who was in I don't know what he was doing. He lost his mind. So they went back to old school and they won. And in baseball, if you just pitch a pitcher 150 pitches, stop giving this 5 days, stop worrying about spin rate, and stop having guys that hit 180, but they walk a lot as you're trying to. I think it's a big scam on everybody. so that you'll still watch even though half the team is minor league. And I don't think they have enough major league players. So instead of looking at these 200 batting averages going, this is a joke, you look at his OPS, and he walks a lot. So that's like getting a hit. And in what world is walking the same as getting a hit? It isn't. And don't tell me a walk's as good as a hit. A walk is not as good as a hit. A hit's as good as a hit. So I think it's a big scam where you're going, well, this guy's got a 600 OPS. It's not his batting average. I love how they make it sound like it's a good thing. We don't know what a good OPS is, but I do know what a 300 hitter is, and I do know a guy who drives in 100 RBIs, and he hits 35 home runs. That I do know what that is. I don't know what a good OPS is. What's equal to a 300 batting average? A 700, an 800? But it's all bullshit. And they're selling you this because the league's so bad that you have no hitters hitting 300, and then the spin rate's got all the pitchers tearing up their elbows, and they're all on the disabled list because they're trying to spin the ball too much. And that's just ridiculous. You get the guys out because you change speeds and you change locations. You don't get them out because you throw a ball, you throw a change up and it dips. Well, the ball should dip anyway, but it's not how much you spin it. It's not the spin rate. Oh, the spin rate's really good. Yeah, but he can't throw the ball over the plate. And we see how many 20-run games with Colorado and Oakland. Yeah, that spin rate's really good. So you just be careful what you listen to. This whole AI is a scam. There's no way AI can replace jobs. Somebody has to watch the AI, and AI cannot be like independent. It's not going to be Terminator 2 because the robots can't think on their own. And they're not, they never could, they never will because they don't have brains. Well, we'll give them a brain. No, you can't. So anybody with this AI bullshit, oh, I'll replace all the workers. Oh, and how are you going to have an economy? If nobody has money, then you have no economy. So this whole little communism thing kind of blends into, well, we won't have money and we won't have governments and we'll all live on, in a pod or something. And you're like, what a bunch of bullshit. Too many people that you're not going to fuck we're not going in concentration camps. Sorry. Yeah. Hey, you want to come take a train ride? Yeah, I don't think so. I'll walk. Thank you very much. And now they're pushing the oil price up. Nobody will be able to fill their car with gas because it'll be, $20 a gallon. But at the end of the day, the gold will save the day because the gold value will go up and all the BRICS people will be fine because they have gold and they're not going to get into these AI camps or whatever they're thinking. Very stupid. All right. So again, inflation, you're printing the money to death. But it's happened many, many times. So the fact that half the world's doing this, can they all be this stupid? It appears they all can because they're all playing follow the leader. Well, I have a high debt. Well, I have high, Social Security and pensions, and the oil will be expensive, and the whole thing. It's disturbing who's behind this, George Soros, but you have gold, you counter it with gold and silver, and we'll be fine. All right. So let's look at baseball. There's nothing to look at gold. It's Sunday morning. And as we see, soon it will go physical. But right now, Comex is still battling it. That's why July 24th, we didn't see it. And I kind of was not sure what we were going to see July 24th. But it's coming. They're getting rid of the Comex price and getting into the Chinese physical price. So that'll be very good for us. That's coming. All right, let's look at baseball yesterday. I had a great day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-2. And your free picks won. Detroit over 10.5 and Philadelphia. Let's go. Toronto 5-1 over St. Louis. Miami 6-2 over the Mets. The Mets aren't hitting. Miami's playing okay. Seattle 4, Minnesota 3. We have Seattle over 7. It's a push. Tampa 1, the White Sox nothing. I don't play that. And this is a typical problem. Tampa wins 1-0. I mean, how pathetic is that game with all your walks as good as a hit? Pitt 4, Cincinnati 1. I have Pitt 2 units. I win. Philly 5, Baltimore nothing. Sanchez goes, and that's why when Baltimore had their bad pitcher going on, I made it a 4-unit play. So it was going to be 3 units, but then when I saw who he was up against, it was beautiful, 5-0. Houston 5, Texas 4. I don't play that. Arizona 12, Cleveland 8. I have Cleveland, and I actually lose with that. You got to be careful. There was a few starters. Soriano didn't play because they might trade him. So they pulled him, and they pulled Casey Mize of Detroit. He might be traded. I don't know. So, yeah, this is what confuses me about Skubal. Skubal shouldn't be playing it at all because if he gets injured, you're fucked. And so here Casey Mize, we don't want him to get hurt, so we're not going to play him the game before the trade deadline. I really don't understand the trade deadline. The Tigers are the cheapest team in sports, and they don't want to pay their players. So a Casey Mize, who turns out to be pretty good, instead of signing him to an extension and having him on your team, you let him go. And then you wonder why you suck. But you're not keeping. So, we'll get players for him. We'll get minor leaguers for him who never turn out to be anything. And so you end up with, well, wait a minute. We had a guy who was good. We traded him for nothing. And what the fuck? The Cubs 5, the Yankees 2. I don't play this. This is the one with the 30-mile-an-hour winds, who I like the over in the game. The over was 6, and they scored 7. So I was right, but again, it was 30-mile-an-hour winds. Atlanta 8, Washington 3. We have Atlanta over 9.5, and that wins. See how the game before we took Washington because they had their ace going, and it won. Actually, they lost with their ace, but here with 2 bad pitchers, we went over, and 8-3. We got an 11, so we won. Colorado 12, KC 6. I did like the over in the game. It was 10.5, but there's just KC doesn't hit the ball, but Colorado does at home. So they won 12-6, but it's hard to lay 10.5, 11 runs. San Diego 6, the 49ers 5. I don't have this game. Good game. Good to see Frisco hitting. Boston 3, the Dodgers 2. I do play the Dodgers in this one. They had a good pitcher going, and Boston had Tolle, who's been bumped around. It was an under game. Again, where are the Dodgers hitting? The Dodgers didn't hit Tolle, who's not very good. But again, I had the Dodgers, and Boston goes and beats the Dodgers. Milwaukee 3-1. I do play Milwaukee for 2 units. Detroit 8, Oakland 6. This is your free play. Detroit over 10.5. And it was like 8-2 and then 8-6. So we get the winner over. So free plays, Philly, 4-unit lock. Detroit over 10.5, 2 units. For the day, I went 1, 2, 3, 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2. We go 2 units, even, 4 units, 2 units, +4, +2, +4, +6. So we make 6 units. We make 6 units, and we hit. Most importantly, we hit the lock Philadelphia, and that's easy. We just took Sanchez. And like we say, he doesn't win every game he pitches, but we understand that. That one game against, what was it, KC, gave up. They lost 17-1, but that's okay. Then he comes back and he wins. I think it was on a 3-game winning streak. But that's what you're looking at. Just it's consistency. I will consistently play Sanchez. And Skeins, I got to be careful with. For some reason, he gives up, 50 pitches in 2 innings, and you're scratching your head going, what the fuck? Then you got Schittler, and you got now Max Fried's back. He pitched well last night. Although I don't know how much was him and how much was this 30-mile-an-hour wind blowing in. So you look for the star. We bet Joe Montana. We bet Tom Brady. Now we're betting Mahomes, Joe Burrow. And you look for those guys, and that's who you bet on because they're more consistent and they're better than the other players. And it's not next man up, and it's not they're all the same. That's socialism. Everybody's the same in socialism. Well, not in the NFL. And we want the stars. That's who we want to bet on. So this was a case where we took Sanchez. So we should have Zach Wheeler today, depending on who is the pitcher for whoever the hell Philly's playing will determine if it's another lock or it's an under. And I believe he lost his last game, so he should be in good shape. We start Washington, Atlanta. Again, you have no idea. We've got Atlanta 117-9. Cavelli against Richie. Cade Cavelli from Oklahoma. They couldn't name him Mickey Mantle. He's 4-2 his last 6. He's given up 1 run, 4 runs, 2-2-0-3. So he's pretty good. 2/3 of an inning, he gave up 4 runs against, Pittsburgh, who can hit. I don't know, can Atlanta hit or not? Some days they do, some days they don't. And here we have Richie going for Atlanta, and he's 3-6 his last 9. Mostly overs, and he's terrible. His last 6, he's gone 5 innings, 3 innings, 1 inning, 4 innings, 1 inning, 3 innings. What is this guy? 5 runs, 0, 1, 0, and 3. 1 run in 1 inning means he's got a 9 ERA. 1 runs in 4 innings means he's got a 2 ERA. 3 runs in 3 innings, times it by 3, he's got a 9 ERA. So this guy sucks. Cavelli's pretty good. I don't know why Atlanta's favored in the game. That makes really no sense. I don't love Washington. They don't hit enough for me. Let's take a look at Cavelli. Maybe we go over. He gives up. He pitches 6 innings, gives up 2 runs, 3 runs. I'm going to have to pass on it because I think Washington's the play with Cavelli because Richie's terrible, but he's only going to pitch 2 or 3 innings. So, again, it's a bullshit thing. And here's Philly and Baltimore. We got Zach Wheeler, 2.53 ERA against Bradish, 3.74. Phillies with a minus 130 and 8. Let's look at Bradish. He's 3-2 his last 5. His last 6, 8 innings shutout, then 4 runs, 3 runs, 1, and 5. I think Philly should hit him. So I don't think it's an under. Zach Wheeler. Let's go Philadelphia, be a free play. But it's not going to be a lock. But let's go 3 units on it. Bradish is okay, but he is a righty, and Schwarberg and whatchamacallit will have a big day, I feel. All right, so go Zach Wheeler. Again, looking at the star. And Bradish, you ain't it. St. Louis and Toronto, Liberatore against Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer's so bad right. What are they doing pitching him? Toronto 128-9. Liberatore, who stinks. His last, let's see, he's lost 2, 3, 5. He's 2-5 his last 7. His last 6 gave up 6 runs, 1, 4, 0, 5, and 3. This guy gives up runs. Max Scherzer's terrible. See, he sticks around too long. It's like Hulk Hogan. I was watching the Hulk Hogan thing, and he just he goes around too. Well, he's got to be Max Scherzer, Hollywood Max Scherzer now. He's got to be the bad guy and come out in the black. He is 2-5 this year. He pitched April 24th, then was off till June 10th. And then he pitched July 27th. So I don't know what we read here. We read a lot of high numbers. Liberatore. See, now that I see I want to go over, I got to see Liberatore. Yeah, this is that. Miami at the JETS's. Again, Marino against Namath. Marino's been kicking ass. Marino 114 and 8.5. Sandy Alcantara 384. He's been pitching very well. We used to bet him all the time a few years ago. And he's won 2, 4, 6 in a row, then lost 3, then won. So he's 7-3 his last 10. 2, 4, 6. He's given up 5 runs, 1, 3, 1, 5, shutout. 5 against Houston. And stock for the Jets. I think it was the backup for Namath. That'd be Don Stroud or Don Struck. This guy has not. He pitched in 2021, had an 11 ERA for the Cubbies, then didn't play till 2025, had a 10.13 ERA for Boston, and now he's here for the JETS's against Alcantara. So, all right. We're not betting on Don Strock, that's for sure. Arizona and Cleveland. Cleveland 169, 7.5. Kelly 487 against Gus Williams 372. Arizona been hitting Cleveland pretty well. Merrill Kelly is 3-2 his last 5. In his last 6, 5 runs, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. He's been pitching pretty good his last 5. Gus Williams, Seattle Seahawks. And he's 3-3 his last 6, 5 of them unders. And 3, 6, 3 runs, 2, a 5, a 0, and a 2. The 5 came against Pittsburgh. So Kelly, now I gotta come back and look Kelly for under. And he's been somewhat under, yeah. But I don't like this though. The total on the game 7.5, and I just don't like, the under is to play, but I think it's too low. I think it was 8.5. I'd go under. I don't like the line. That's the feel part of me. That's the art right there. The White Sox against Tampa. Tampa 141, 7.5. K, who was good against Jax, who I'm not sure for Tampa. So let's look at K on the White Sox. Wearing a Cub hat. And he's 2-4 his last 6. A lot of unders. 5 runs, 1, 2, 2, 2, and 3. And he's going 4 and 5 innings. Pretty pathetic. Griffin Jacks. 5 and 3 his last 8. And his last 6, 3 runs, 1, 7, 1, and 2. So more than likely, this should be an under. But again, I only get K for 4 innings, and I get Jacks for 5. And here's where it goes to the bullpen. So the starters may be a 7.5, but when you get to the bullpen, you don't know what you're getting. Tampa, a pretty good team. I'm gonna take a pass on it. Cincinnati 131-9. Matt Keller against Burns. Okay, take Cincinnati and Burns. Let's go 3 units. This is a game I don't have to look. Keller with a 4.86 ERA. We can take a quick look at him, but Burns is their ace, and so we don't really need to look at him. I'm sure it's a lot of good pitching. 3 and 3 his last 6. This is Keller. His last 6, 3 runs, 4, 5, 3, a 0 and a 2, and the 0 was 5 innings. So Cincinnati has been beating them, and with Burns. So we like Burns. Okay, so Cincinnati and Philly. We're basically betting Zach Wheeler and Burns. Oh, we got Texas, Houston. We got Houston 131, 8.5. We got Rocker for Texas, 4.40 against Jack Lambert with the 3.06. Jack's been pitching really well lately. Kumar Rocker for Texas. The Kumar 1-2, lost 2, 1-2, lost 1. So he's all over. A lot of overs. 2, 4, 6. 2 runs, shutout, 3 runs, 7 runs, 0, 2 runs. It's always there, and before that he gave up 7. So it's like 0, 2, 2, 7, 2, 0, 3, 7, 0, 2. And you're like, what the fuck? What is that? He gave up 7 against Minnesota and 7 against Houston, which makes no sense. Neither of these teams are great hitting teams. So I don't get that. 5 innings, gives up 7 runs, 91 pitches, 2 walks, 3 home runs. And the other 7 was 70 pitches in 3 innings, gives up 2 home runs and 2 walks. So against teams that hit home runs off of him, he's pretty bad. Jack Lambert, Steeler. 4-1 his last 5. He's been hot. A lot of unders. His last 6, 4 runs, shutout, 1, 1, 2, 2. So we're going with Jack Lambert again. All right, let's go 3 units on that one. How can you not bet on Jack Lambert? Even if he doesn't have front teeth. They were doing this thing on the top 20 players in NFL history, and these idiot radio guys were getting like the current ones, but they didn't get this. Like I keep going, Joe Green, Jack Lambert, Mel Blount, Franco, and they were too current. Joe Montana, Jerry Wright. Yeah, okay. But they didn't get that. I think Jim Brown was in there. They didn't get, and you're like, what the fuck? Are you guys a bunch of idiots? This is the all-time list. Jim Brown's got to be on it, and so does Joe Green. And I would assume Lambert and Mel Blount were on there somewhere. Jack Ham. What are you kidding me? All right. Yankees at the Cubs. Looks like another windy day there. It's total 6.5. Yankees 119 and 6.5. We got Garrett Cole against Colin Ray for the Cubbies. It's the only thing I don't like is this nasty win. They still went over yesterday. 2 and 3, the last 5 for Cole. And his last 10 he's pitched. He came back from injury. His last six, 4 runs, 2-3, 2-3-0. Not very good. Colin Ray, he's 3-2 his last five. 2-4-6. 1 run, 2 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs, 4 runs, one. This isn't over, but you got 30-mile-an-hour winds. You can't play it over, so we'll have to pass on that. I think Cole probably gets the win, but I don't know. This Armstrong guy looks pretty good for Chicago. An actual major leaguer, right? KC at Colorado. Colorado 127-12. We got Seth Lugo, who stinks, against Kyle Freeland, who stinks. Should go over the 12. Seth Lugo, 36 years, from Centenary College. Never heard of it. I'm sure they have a baseball team there. He's 3-3 his last six. A lot of overs. Also his last six, 3 runs, 9, 2-2, 3-1. So this guy's really a pig. Lugo at Colorado. Kyle Freeland, God knows why he's in the major leagues. He's lost his last four. He won 3, then lost 4. So he's 3-4 his last 7. But we're going to focus on his last 4. And his last 6 runs, 2, 6, 4, 4, 5. All right. Okay. Milwaukee. Ooh, interesting game against California. Milwaukee 216 and 7.5. We all know who's pitching. Mizorowski. Nothing to look at. 1.57 ERA. But we have a Urena who's got a low ERA. Let's see if that's true. Let's go to his last 5. He's 2-3. And he goes 5 innings, 4, 5, 4, 6, and 6. Shutout, 7, 1, shutout, 1-1. So this guy's been pretty rough the last 4 games. You're not scoring on Urena and Mizorowski. Total on the game, 7.5. Do we take Mizorowski? Do we go under? I think we're going to go under here. They're not going to score on Mizorowski, but it looks like they're going to have a hard time scoring on Urena the last 4 games. And California doesn't really score a lot anyway. Let's play this a double. All right. Okie doke. So bet Mizorowski. Actually, you want to bet it under is the best play. So here's where you don't bet Mizorowski, because Urena's not giving up a lot of runs. So Milwaukee's not going to score. California is going to get shut out. So it ends up being a 2-1 game. And that's really the best play with this. Why is this 7.5? This is crazy. Detroit goes to Oakland. Detroit 108-11 with Montero. I don't know why Detroit's favored. Montero just really sucks. He did get hot, but I think he's been pitching bullpen. Yeah, so it's hard to say. He's 2-2 his last 4, but he won 5 in a row. So he's 7-2 his last 9. All of them under. But he's, when you look at it, his last 6, 3 innings, 1 inning, 3 innings, 3 innings, 5 innings, 4 innings. 4 innings he started and gave up 6 runs. So it's hard to look at the bullpen games, shutout, 1 inning, shutout, 3 innings, 3 runs, 3 innings, shutout, 5 innings, 1 run, and then 4 innings, 6 runs. Where the last 2 he started, 5 innings, 1 run, and 4 innings, 6 runs. Now we need 11, and here comes Jump. Gage Jump from LSU, Bobby. He's an LSU guy. This guy's terrible. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's 1 in 6 his last 7, mostly overs. 2, 4, 6. Gave up 5 runs, 6 runs, 1, 4, 6, and then a 6 inning shutout against Boston, and they won. So again, you can't. He walks a lot of batters, gives up a lot of home runs. Yeah, this guy stinks. All right. And Detroit with the 8-2 lead yesterday. I needed a 10.5, and then they win 8-6. That's my boys, the bullshit minor league team. Minnesota, Seattle. Seattle 136-7. Ty Bradley 367 against George Kirby 398. I thought he pitched yesterday. And Bradley on Minnesota. And he's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 8-1 his last 9, mostly others. And his last 6, 1 run, 2, a 5, a 1, and a 2. This is the problem. You don't know when that 5 or that 7 kicks in. So it's mostly 1, 1, 1, 1, 7. And you're like, okay, I hope I bet it that I don't see the 7. What are the managers thinking letting him give up 7 runs, right? Oh, he's got to eat up innings because analytics tells me I got to eat up innings. Fucking brainless idiots, these managers. So Bradley's been hot. Let's see Kirby. Kirby's actually favored 136. And he's 3-2 his last 5. Some mostly overs in his last 6. 3 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 0, and then the 7 against Texas. It's the weirdest games. Like Texas doesn't hit and he gives up 7 runs. Well, I don't know if he gives up. No, he did give up 7. That was him, right? So Bradley and Kirby. Bradley's been hot. All right. The 49ers go to San Diego. Montana against Dan Fouts. San Diego 147-8. Roop 414 against King 338. Roop has been really hot, I believe. No, he's been really cold. He lost 2, 4, 6, then 1, 2, and then lost. So he's 2-8 his last 10. 2, 4, 6. Give up 2 runs, 6 runs, 1, 0, 2, and 4. So he's starting to give up more runs. A lot of walks. 2 2/3, he had 6 walks. Then in the 6th inning game, he had no walks. And then in the last game, 3 innings, he had 3 walks. So he's pretty wild. Not a lot of home runs. And he loses a lot. Total on games 8. Michael King from Boston College. And he's 2-2, 2-4. Gives up 4 runs, 2, 1, 1, 1, and a 4. Pretty good. But he's 2-4 his last 6. No play here. Boston and the Dodgers. Boston's been winning these games. The Dodgers 175. Well, I don't understand this. The Dodgers 175, 8.5. Sheehan for the Dodgers with the 5 ERA. Why would he be 175 favorite against Bennett? 277 for Boston. And he's, I guess, a starter. And he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-1 his last 6. 2, 4, 6. And he goes 6, 7 innings. 1 run, 2 runs, 0, 0, 3, 3 against Sheehan with his 5 ERA. Also from Boston. What is it? Boston College. He's lost his last 4. and he's lost. He's 1-8 his last 9, and he's given up 6 runs, 1-1, 3, 6, and 1. Yeah, let's go Boston there. I don't get it. We're getting 175 for Sheehan. He's been losing his games. He's got a 5 ERA. Bennett with a 2.77 ERA and has been hot. Why are the Dodgers favorite? What's going on here? Is this fixed? What can be going on here? This is Boston. Boston just beat them, I think, the last 2 games. So let's go Boston. Beat the Dodgers. All right. So that's baseball. You've got Zach Wheeler today, 3 units. You've got Cincinnati Burns for 3 units and Jack Lambert for 3 units. Those are your plays today. Go Prosper. All right. Those are your baseball plays. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I didn't play Milwaukee. I played Milwaukee under. It's too good of a Mizrowski will shut him out. The other guy will probably give up 1 or 2 runs. All right. We played Mark McGuire Friday, Saturday, and he's quoting a $10,000 gold price up to a $50,000 gold price. We got Ed Steer saying the end of the year, these guys are doing $20,000 options on gold. So we believe gold will definitely start zooming. We believe it's me. I believe that it's just COMEX doesn't want to let go because then Russia and China will be much more valuable if their gold's worth 20,000 an ounce because they got China with 80,000, Russia with like 30, which will help their war efforts, and it'll basically kill the dollar. And so they're fighting it, but you can only, the rope's slipping out of your hands, and there's nothing that the U.S. can do. Well, we got gold in Fort Knox. I saw it, so therefore it must be real if I saw it. Where did they get the Treasury Secretary? What a moron he is. Oh, my God. I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it also. Yeah. Oh, my God. So let's say we have 8,000 tons. You'd want a higher gold price. So that shows you don't have 8,000 tons because that would show you don't want a higher gold price. Well, if you have the gold, you want a higher gold. We have gold. We want a higher gold price. So anyway, that's where I'm looking at gold and silver to really start zooming. And then silver jumps with it. If gold hits 10,000, silver will be 1,500, 2,000 easy. Another thing with these people that I'm seeing like on Amazing Race in this is they're very lazy. They don't want to do any work. They just want to I'll follow, like they keep following the other team around. Well, we'll follow them. We'll let them do the work and we'll follow them. Great strategy. You're supposed to be doing the work on your own. And we know what happens with cheaters. They always get caught. So anyway, Mark McGuire, good news for gold. He's hard to watch because it's just a boring voice, and then he talks too technical, or maybe he doesn't know what he's saying, but it's hard to follow him. I try to keep it very basic. Gold will go to 10,000. I don't think anybody will have a hard time with that. All right, let's look at the NFL. We talked college football yesterday. we went through the A teams, the Z teams. So let's actually take a look. Let's take a look at the line. Let's just adjust the line if there's any adjustments. And I don't want preseason football. I hate when they do that. This just like gives you week one, but there's no setting. There's no setting so I can pick week one. So I have to go to another. We'll try Yahoo. All right, so let's go to week one. So Thursday is the first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game. All right, so let's go through we'll go through everything here. And no, we won't. We don't have lines. Kind of fucked up thing is Yahoo. We don't have, it says Patriots Seahawks and it's not giving lines. Are you fucking kidding me? So let's go to scores and odds. Okay. So let's go through the lines. Then we'll go through the teams. So we got Seattle 3.5, 44.5. They're both. Now, this is at the end of last year because obviously we don't have anything for this year. We'll keep an eye on the preseason games if they actually play their players, but the coaches are too stupid because they might get hurt. It's football. They're going to get hurt. They're both A teams as of the end of last. So everything I graded is as of last year. They're both A teams. New England with a 9 defense, Seattle with a 17, and Drake May against Darnold. And all I have is New England was 19-2 in a teaser last year, and Seattle was 17-3. We know Kenneth Walker's no longer there. That will be a huge loss for Seattle. And because now Darnold's going to be alone and he's going to start throwing all these interceptions. New England, Drake May, I'm not sold on him that he's all that. I don't know why people think he is going against. They don't really have much of a running attack. They've added A.J. Brown, which we don't know how good he is. He got into a fight in Philadelphia. They wouldn't throw the ball to him. There's a reason. You got a coach having an affair. So I don't know. There's a lot of problems there. But the biggest problem is Kenneth Walker not being on Seattle. Our next game. So that's 9-9. This is 9-10. We got the Rams 3.5, 48.5 to the Niners in Australia for some reason. I got the Niners as a B team and the Rams as an O team, but we know there's changes. We know Myles Garrett's there. Aaron Donald might be coming back. They won't be an O team for long. The Niners is a B team. They did get Fred Warner and Bosa back, apparently, but they are injured. Purdy, McCafferty. I think they signed Deebo Samuel or something. The one guy's out for the year. I never liked that receiver from Florida. He always sucked anyway. I thought that was a terrible draft pick. So they're a B team. They got a 24 defense, the Niners, the Rams at the 26. Purdy against Stafford. Again, against Seattle, the Rams defense didn't show up, and it really didn't show up much against the Bears. It was the 20 below zero, whether that showed up there. So the Rams need a better defense if they are going to win. But Stafford against Purdy, okay. Again, it's in Australia. The time, the flight, it's really stupid. What the fuck? Where's the rest of my games? Jesus, I only got these two games. Son of a bitch. All right, we'll just have to go off of what we already have. Cincinnati, 3.5, 50.5 to Tampa. Games in Cincy. Tampa an under team, the 23 defense. They got the Baker. Play against Tampa last year was 14-3 and 7-2 as a road dog. They give up 23 game, and there's been a lot of changes to Tampa. Mike Evans is gone, and a few other players have gone. Larry David's out. Cincinnati an over team. Joe Burrow, Chase. No stats last year. A 24 defense. The defense wasn't terrible. They're an over team. Obviously, they score a lot of points with Chase and Burrow. They're favored by 3.5, total of 50. All right. Detroit, 7, 48.5 to New Orleans. New Orleans I have as a B team with an 18 defense. So they had a very good defense, even though they played Atlanta, Carolina, and Tampa, teams that aren't scoring a lot. Tyler Shaw, the quarterback. Detroit an over team. They score a lot, and their defense sucks. 28 defense. Shaw against golf. No real trends on that as of last year. Detroit, not a strong home favorite. Detroit without Ben Johnson's. This is the real team, and you've got to adjust. Dan Campbell's a lousy coach. He's a good motivator. But when it comes to X's and O's, he's terrible. All he does is read analytics, says, hey, we got to go for it on 4th and 2. So the biggest danger I see with analytics is people don't think. They don't critically think. They don't question it. They just go along with it. And it's going to say jump off the cliff. Well, analytics says jump off the cliff, so I'm going to jump off the cliff. So not a real good coach. Detroit with the 28 defense will hurt him here. 7 and 48.5. All right. The Jets at Tennessee. The Jets a Z team, 38 defense. Tennessee's a W team, a 30 defense. Tennessee's 3, 39.5. I can see this game going way over 39.5, and we cut it to 33. You don't have defense on the field. You got Ward, who stinks, going against Geno Smith, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to see. Some trends here. Play against the JETS's 14-1 as a road dog. Play against them overall 15-2. Tennessee, play against them 14-3. In 2 years, it's 30-4 if you bet against Tennessee. Play against Tennessee as a home favorite, 10-2. So this is a terrible game. Both teams suck. Bet against either team, you win. If we find the Jet quarterback, which we'll see soon, I don't know if it's Geno Smith or not, but we do know it's Cam Ward, and we do know he sucks. So you got to be careful there. But both defenses suck, which is surprising because the Jets, the easiest thing to do would be to have defense, and they traded their players away for draft picks. We all know how stupid that is. Because I got to rely on my guy to know how to draft, which I don't. Obviously, the Jets don't. They traded away any good player they had. So, got to be an over game here. Baltimore at Indy. Baltimore 3.5, 49.5. Baltimore, a B team with the 21 defense, and Lamar, I know he sucks. Against Indy, a W team with a 30 defense, and Daniel Jones sounds like he's coming back. Whippy do, he still sucks. And again, he's a good runner, yeah, and he got hurt, and then the team falls apart. And so what's he going to do now? He's got to pass? He can't pass. You're a quarterback. You're supposed to pass, right? So we don't, the key here is the 30 defense of Indy. Jonathan Taylor will be good. Lamar, now we got a new coach for Baltimore. They're 6-1 as a road favorite, 14-2 in 2 years, and play against Indy as a home dog is 7-0. So this is a Baltimore trend, but we got a new coach, so we'll see. Although I thought Harbaugh was terrible. People thought Harbaugh was good, and I'm like, no. Well, he won a Super Bowl. Okay. Atlanta and Pitt. Pitt 342.5. Atlanta an under team, 25 defense. Is Penix going to be back? Don't know. Pitt, a B team with a 21 defense, always a good defense. And Aaron Rodgers, will he be back? Probably. 7-1 is a home favorite in a teaser. And we have Mike McCarthy, who's a terrible coach. It's amazing how bad the coaching and the quarterback play is in the league. But that's why you get 10 coaches fired every year. And that's why they keep drafting these quarterbacks, and then they make the mistake of playing them right away. Like, if I'm Oakland, Mendoza doesn't play maybe after 7 or 8 games. He doesn't start the first game. He's not ready for this. Isn't Indiana. He's not playing Illinois. So, the rush to get the quarterback in is ridiculous. The coaches all get fired because they stink because they listen to analytics. Oh, let's go for it on fourth. And when they don't get it, they lose the game, and then they lose, and then they get fired. Amazing how stupid the coaches are. Chicago goes to Carolina. I got Chicago 2.5, 44.5. Chicago an E team, a 22 offense, a 22 defense, and a 26 offense. Caleb, who they were 17-2 overall last year. Now they get a harder schedule. We'll see. Carolina, an under team. They scored 19 a game, gave up 22 with Steve Young. That's my problem with Steve Young. They get 19 a game in that division with Atlanta and New Orleans. Tampa, not really strong defenses. So I don't like Steve Young. Apparently he's 5'10", but that's okay. But Daggio, who's 5'10", he's too small. Okay, sure, just believe whatever you want to say. Um, Daggio is better than both these quarterbacks, by the way. So Caleb, way too many turnovers, especially in critical games like the Ram game. 3 turnovers, especially the one in overtime. So he makes these stupid plays where he's dancing around for 10 minutes, and then the secondary gets tired, and he finally, that what is that? That's not pro football, high school football. But I do like the Bears coach, and I do like their running game, and I think that's where they're going to win. But we'll see. They got the tough schedule. So does New England. We'll see how good they really are. It was like the 72 Dolphins. They had the easiest schedule. It was like a 300. It was like a 33% win for the other teams. So you know how they go. Oh, they have such a tough schedule. They had the easiest schedule in the history of the NFL that year. Baltimore sucked. New England sucked. Buffalo sucked. They played them twice, and Pittsburgh should have had them. I was the stupid fake punt. But otherwise, it was a very easy schedule for Miami. And then they beat a weak Washington team 14-7. All right. Cleveland goes to Jacksonville. Cleveland, probably the worst team in the league. They're an under team. I got Jacksonville 7.5, 40.5. Cleveland an under team with the 22 defense and Deshaun Watson and no Myles Garrett. So we have to see what's going on with Cleveland. Jacksonville is an A team with the 17 defense. Trevor Lawrence, who's terrible. Play against Cleveland as a road dog, 12-3. And Jacksonville lost their running back, Etning. He's moved on. Trevor Lawrence, very bad. He just wants to run. He's not a good quarterback. It's amazing how many of these quarterbacks are not good quarterbacks, and yet they're starting in the NFL. It just makes no sense to me. Well, they can run. Lamar, yeah. How does that work in a big game? Oh, yeah, he doesn't show up or he turns the ball over. Okay. So I don't know, Jacksonville. They had a 37 offense. I don't know. Maybe it's their 17 defense. Do I actually believe this team? Buffalo did beat them in the playoff game. It was a close game. But we'll see. But Trevor Lawrence is not good. You can't bet on Trevor Lawrence. We can bet on Burrow and Mahomes. You can't bet on Trevor Lawrence. Buffalo goes to Houston. Buffalo 1.5, 45.5, I believe. Buffalo, a B team with a 19 defense. And Josh Allen against Houston, the A team with the 18 defense. And CJ Stroud, who needs to go. They were 17-2 overall, 33-5 overall the last 2 years. It's all based on their defense, and Stroud get out of the way. Had trouble with receivers and running backs staying healthy. He can't understand. He has zero football IQ. He can't get out of the way. Against Michigan, he never did anything. I can't believe he got drafted, and I can't believe he's starting in the NFL. He's not very good. There's a lot, I'd rather have Daggio Pava than CJ Stroud. I hurt by a mile. I mean, not close. So again, Houston, just a great defensive team. And if they're playing Buffalo, Buffalo will score on them. This will be an interesting game. Total, I think, is 45.5 or 46.5. But Buffalo is a road favorite, which I don't know about that. We'll see. Miami against Oakland. A lot of playoff games in the 70s with these two, especially the 74. The catch, what was that? Sea of Hands. Milwaukee, a W team. 28 defense, and Willis. So we don't know that Willis is any good, and we know their defense sucks. Oakland, a Z team with a 25 defense. You don't know anything about Crosby. Apparently, he couldn't pass a physical. Is not very good. Um, so Mendoza, a Z team, 25 defense. Play against Road Dogs. Play against Miami is 11-2. So an edge to Oakland. Oakland with Mendoza, they shouldn't be starting him week one. He is nowhere ready. That's like you starting a new job and day one. You know, okay, we need you to build a car. Come on. I don't even know where the bathroom is. So Mendoza, I'd maybe start week 6 or 7. Although I can't win with Cousins. All I got is Brock Bauer. Where's my receivers? I got Gentry as my running back. Apparently, I have no offensive line because that's what everybody says. And I don't know about I drafted a lot of defense, but did I do good drafting him? This isn't Al Davis anymore, unfortunately. So Oakland -3 and 41.5. Both defenses suck. Be an interesting game. Oakland could get a win here just because there's no way Willis is going to do anything, and he's new to the team. They do have Acme, the running back, Miami. That's about it. Tyreek Hill's been let go, and he apparently can't run anyway. So we'll have to see. Green Bay, Minnesota. Green Bay 1.5, 44.5. Green Bay at 27 defense. Minnesota a 10. Love against Kyler Murray, we believe. Play against is a road favorite. Green Bay is 9-2, and Minnesota as a home dog is 6-0. Murray's new. We got to see how he fits in with Jefferson. He's only 5'10" too. So it's convenient when it works and when it doesn't work. All I know is now Minnesota, that's their last 5. They're a 10 defense. The other thing about Green Bay is, do they have Micah Parsons back? If he's not back, they got a 27 defense. They suck. I think Minnesota's a very live home dog. We got to see Kyler Murray. Again, it's his first game with Jefferson. Yeah, but the Packer defense sucks, and I'm not a big Jordan Love fan either. Washington goes to Philly. Philly looks like 5.5 or 6, 46.5. At home, Washington, a Z team, 26 defense. Will depend if Daniels is playing. If he's out, they're a Z team. If he's playing, they're an over team. Play against Philly overall is 16-2. So Philly was terrible last year. And so they kept being favored and they kept losing or barely winning. Philly's an under team with a 15 defense, and Jalen Hurts, who's not very good, with the 22 offense. It's funny how you'll say it, and I'll say, "Oh, Jalen Hurts, he's good," and you're like, "What are you watching to see that he's good? He can't throw, can't read defenses. I mean, these guys are athletes; they're not quarterbacks. I need a guy like Joe Montana who can find the receiver, throw it there. These guys can't do it. They just want to run around. They're not. I don't know. It's a circus. This is crazy." And the GMs just keep, "Oh yeah, he can run." What the fuck are they doing? You got a bunch of idiots in charge of all these teams, baseball and football. Arizona at San Diego. San Diego 11.5, 45.5. Arizona Z team, 37 defense. Brissett maybe play against Arizona, 16-1. 12-3 is a road dog. So Arizona definitely is terrible on the road and just terrible to bet. You bet against them. San Diego is an under team, an 18 offense and an 18 defense. And Herbert, which now we're questioning, is he any good? Looks good, but doesn't make the plays, doesn't win any big games. and they're laying 11.5, which is a little high of a number for this team. But the defense, I think the San Diego defense wins the game for them. Dallas and the Giants. Dallas 2.5, 48.5. Dallas an over team and a 34 defense, and Dak throws a lot of picks. And a 34 defense. This is Dallas's problem. It's quite obvious. They don't have a defense, and you let Micah Parsons go. So you got Pickens and Lamb as your receivers, which is nice, but you get outscored, and but they're a good over team. The Giants are an under team with Jackson Dart. I do not like 23 touchdowns or 23 points. They give up. They only give up 21. So they're getting a better defense, the Giants. They got a new coach, Harbaugh. We'll see. I don't like Dart. He doesn't throw the ball very well. He's a runner, and he keeps getting concussions. He misses the concept. You cannot run and take a hit. If you do, and you get knocked out, there's nobody behind you. This is pro football. We got a starting quarterback and no backups. And yet he runs and gets concussions. And how long is he going to last? I mean, Steve Young quit because of a concussion. So did Troy Aikman. Although I never liked Steve Young. He cost us the 1990 championship game. So we're looking at an over team against an under. I don't know. I think the Giants are a live dog here, but I'm not sure. We have to see some preseason. And our last game, the game of the week, Denver, KC, 42.5. Denver, an under team. 21 defense and Bo Nix. KC, an under team, but that was because of Mahomes being out. A 19 defense. So the KC with Spagnuolo will have a good defense. Denver, 18-1 overall. 34-3 in 2 years overall. So since they've had Bo Nix, Sean Payton, 34-3, and 9-2 as a road dog. I like Denver here as a very live dog. KC will not run away with it. Although I do like Kenneth Walker now on KC. And KC, if they win this game, probably go undefeated. There's nobody that can touch them with the addition of Kenneth Walker. What a stupid move by Seattle. If anything, I would have let Darnold go before I let Kenneth Walker go. Very, very stupid move. Your play and play against in a teaser. I got 7 teams to play and 5 to play against. The Rams, Houston, Denver, the Bears, New England, and Seattle are play teams. That means they're just overall, they're like 18-2 in a teaser. Play against teams. These are always the weak teams. The JETSs, Tennessee, Arizona, surprise, Philadelphia, and Tampa are on this list. Normally the weak teams get on the list. So I don't know where I can't get my lines, but I'll search for them. But these are the initial lines, so we'll use the lines wouldn't have changed much. So I will post these. I'll start posting. So August 29th is college. And I will post them. I did all my passwords yesterday. So if you bought the whole year, you would get the password. And you use the password every week and you're fine. So it starts August 29th. So I think it was like the 22nd or so. No, that's a Saturday. So the 24th, I believe, is a Monday. You probably want to buy it on the 25th because that'll give you, and it's a 2-week. It's a 2-week. I'm showing both episodes. So if you buy the first week, you're going to get all week 1 and A and 1B plays. So you get the whole, whatever I play, you'll get both. And if you buy, so even if you bought everything on August 25th, you would get the pros also with that buy. If you bought, $100 gets you both, $750 gets you everything. So if you bought August 25th, you would get all the week 1 week 1A, week 1B college, and week 1 pro. I don't really play exhibition games. Maybe one or two I would play, but generally no. Like Mahomes plays, he's going to play the first quarter or something. But so you'll get both weeks. So I didn't just say, oh, okay, just August 29th, and that's it. So you get the full sheet. So week 1A, week 1B. And we talked about college yesterday. College is a little different because you're getting A teams, like you're getting Z teams in the Sun Belt. You don't really have that in the pros. You have your Tennessees, the JETSs, Arizonas, but they're not in the Sun Belt. They're just in the NFC East or West or whatever. So keep that in mind. Now, as we go, we adapt to the team. So right now we think we don't know what Baltimore is. We pretty much know what Buffalo is because we got Josh Allen. We know they're an over team. Green Bay, you got to get Michael Parsons back. Minnesota, we don't know what they are yet. We know they're an under team. It's the question of Kyler Murray. How fast does he click with Justin Jefferson? New Orleans, what's going on there? Pittsburgh with Rodgers and Mike McCarthy. And so you've got new coaches, you've got new quarterbacks, and how quickly do they adapt? They might be good, they might be bad. Like Jackson Dart, he sucks. Brissett on Arizona, he sucks. I mean, these guys suck, so we're not anticipating much. Mendoza, I'm not counting on him to do anything. I think they'll still be a Z team, Oakland. They might be an under team because of their defense. They got a lot of draft picks, but they didn't get any. There's no receiver help for Brock Bowers. You'd have thought they could have free agent a kid from Texas Tech or something. So you're looking for the surprise. Oh, this guy's developing into a good running back, and the defense is good. And that's what you're looking at. And as it develops, different than last year. If it's the same as last year, fine, we're great. But we know it's going to change. So as we get the different developments, all these new coaches, most of them suck. We'll see what happens. Ben Johnson was the exception that he made Detroit good. And now Dan Campbell, now we really see we pulled the curtain back and we see the Wizard is just, some 10-year-old boy. And Dan Campbell, we see cannot coach. The reason they were good was Johnson. And where else is that going to come into play? We know Sean Payton and Sean McVay are good coaches. Shanahan, I still question. But then you get some of these other coaches and you just shake your head like, you got 11 new coaches. Yeah, AI really works. I'm not supposed to go for it on fourth down at midfield. I thought that was an automatic play. So when you start getting coaches that start punting the ball inside the 10 with Ray Guy, then those are the smart coaches we want to bet on. But right now, if they're going to be idiots and go on at midfield like the Oregon coach, there's no way Oregon's the number one team in the country. There's no way Dante Moore is the number one quarterback. I would rather have ncaa, who was at Tulane, Duke, and now at Miami. I think he's much better than Arch Manning and that. Arch Manning did nothing in the big games, and that's what you really look for. Let's see what Arch Manning does against Ohio State and Texas and Georgia. Oh, he doesn't show up in those games, but he shows up against North Dakota State. So, he's a good quarterback. Look, he threw for 50 points against nobody. I mean, it's crazy. Anyway, that's what we adjust to. So that's why I grade every week, and I'm looking. But the key is, who did they play? Now, Ohio State, Texas, I'll get a good read on both teams, although I think I have a good read on Ohio State anyway. But it's New Mexico, might be a really good team this year. San Diego State should be an under team this year, and you're just looking for the Danley and Tomlinson to show up. We have no idea, and all of a sudden, San Diego State's this great team, and that's what you're looking at. Is there all of a sudden these running backs or quarterbacks that come out of nowhere? Cam Rising, Tyler Van Dyke. You never heard of them. They weren't on anybody's target, and then they were superstars. So you got to keep an eye on that, and you're looking at that. So that's what we're going. The Mackenzie Miltons, and so you're always looking at that. So that's what we pick up more in college than in pro. Pro, we know the guys. We watch the college. There's no surprise it's going to happen in the pros. Maybe Aaron Donald comes out. We'll see how Myles Garrett is. It's more the injury that happens in the pros, and then you got to adjust. Oh, shit, they lost. Like Micah Parsons. Oh, they lost Micah Parsons. You got to adjust Green Bay. So that's what we will do. All right, what else? Baseball, the Phillies, Cincinnati, and Houston today. Bon appetit. We got good pitchers. So the key is finding the key to everything, right? It's finding what is the mechanism. So when we look let's go back to economics. When we look at the market, your business is based on, I went to this grocery store yesterday, and they're very expensive. And I told the cashier, I said, you guys are way expensive. That's why you're not busy. I mean, you come in and it's more of a convenience store than a grocery store, even though it's a full grocery store. They got meat and they got chicken and they got, all the products, but they're all very expensive. And I told the cashier, I says, you're missing the point. I don't care if these cost more. You've got to sell it to me. I'm the market. And if you have, Oreo cookies at $6 a box, I can get them for $4 at Meijer's. I'm going to go to Meijer's and buy them. You've got to meet the market. Not only do you got to meet your competition, but you're selling to me. And the only thing I bought yesterday was things on sale that were kind of equal to these other stores, but I was driving home from the gym. So it was just a quick pop in to see, but their prices are astronomical. And I just said, so she says, well, I don't set the prices, the owner does. I said, well, I didn't expect you to set the prices. But the owner, he won't be in. You better look for a new job because you're crazy. You will not be in business long because you have nothing that anybody can afford to buy. You're $2 higher for Oreo cookies than everybody else. What the fuck are you thinking? So I mean that was the point. I even went in. I didn't see any I wanted plums and nectarines. I didn't see any. The fruit they weren't too bad on, but basically anything on the aisles, they were ridiculous. You had no idea what they were doing. So you've got to understand that the market's the customer. The market is, I want to make a coffee mug, and okay, does somebody want to buy it? Yeah, I'll buy it. Okay, what's the price? You want $50 for it? Go fuck off. You're not getting $50 for it. However, if you want, how about $20? Okay, I'll give you 20. It's a fair price. It's a big mug, and I need it just because I broke the Bellagio. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. But so you have to sell it to somebody, and then you have to meet on the price. So it's not just is there demand for it, it's the selling price. Like my Barcelona. So I got a few of these plates, Switzerland and Vegas. So here's the plate, and it's a nice plate. It's just a souvenir. And you're like, okay, you have a market for it, but I think this was €8. So I said, oh, okay, €8, that's fine. But that's the point of it. Then it comes down to the price. What are we gonna? It's a trade, and what am I willing to pay for it? What am I willing to trade you in dollars for the plate? And that's what this is. These are trades, right? These are trades, is what these are. I'm going to trade you for the plate, for the mug, for the apple, for the oranges, for whatever it is. It's a trade. I'm going to trade you this for rent, this for utilities. And that's what it's all about, is the trade. So, yeah, $20. Now that if that plate was $20, I wouldn't have it. But it was like $8 or something. So it was and I wanted a souvenir of it. So that's the difference. If you can get you have to. There's the market, and then it's the selling price. So you got to sell it at the price I'm willing to pay for it. And so what's happening to this grocery store? They're getting too expensive. I'm not. I want cornflakes, but I'm not going to pay $10 for the box of it. Now you're too expensive. And I can go to Walmart's or Meijer's or whatever and spend $5 on it. So why would I give you 10 when I can go to 2 other stores and get it for 5? This is what you must understand your market. You must understand the competition. So that's what you're looking at, is your competition. You're looking at, what are they selling it for? Because as a good consumer, I'm checking that out. I'm going, I can buy this for 5. Why should I pay 10? Because my money is limited. I only have so much. Now, maybe when gold hits 20,000, I won't care about price, but at this point, I do. So here I get this ad for haircut. Your first hair service. Okay. I don't know what blonde specialist is, but so I'm going to call them and see what the price is. So I get my haircut for 25 right now, but I don't love the hairdresser. She's really weird. If this girl can also do it for 25 and she gives me a better cut, then I'll go to her. Doesn't matter to me. It's the quality of the cut. It's the service you're providing. Am I going to be happy with it? So that's really what we're looking at. It's not only, this is how business is. You don't care what your cost is. It's what you can sell it for in the market, if you have a market. And so this is where the problems comes with these wars. Nobody's going to go buy a missile. I want a Patriot. Give me 2 Patriot missiles. There's a noisy dog downstairs I want to take care of. So they create the wars because they know the country are the only people that are going to buy these missiles. It's going to be countries that have money to waste on these missiles. Oh, shit, we got to defend ourselves. We got to get missiles. And that's the problem with the defense contractors. The regular there's no market for 99% of it. In the market there is, I doubt that they agree on the cost, but they're forced because they need to defend themselves. So I need a Patriot missile. Well, that's what I need to defend myself, and they're attacking us. But these wars are all fake. The wars are there so you buy missiles because there is no market for missiles. And they create the market by having a war. Then you need to defend yourself. It's such bullshit. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And yet somehow they try to turn it into, well, it's good for the economy. It's not good for the economy. Having France buy a Patriot missile from us, let's say the Ukraine, who has no money, so I'm really wondering how they're buying it from us. I think that's what these $60 billion to the Ukraine is. They turn around. What they don't tell you is, okay, we'll give you 60 billion, but now you're going to take that 60 billion and you're going to give us 10%. And then the rest, you're going to buy missiles from Northrop and Raytheon and that. And that's going to help our economy. It's not going to help the economy, but okay. And so that's where you create a demand for a market that doesn't really exist. Nobody's running around. Now, the handguns, there is a market for that, and the bullets, so people can protect themselves or hunting, and that's fine. I mean, you know, if you're using guns for protection, that's fine. What are you going to use? Throw a steak knife at somebody? Because there's a lot of criminals, because they, after watching The Amazing Race, there's a bunch of morons out there and idiots that just be thankful you don't come across. Um, so then you have that type of market where I'm making a product that nobody wants, so I have to develop a market for it. Now you run into inflation. Is, well, we need money, but everybody's getting old and retiring. They're not working. Our taxes are lower, but we still want to spend all this money. So we want to, our budget's $5 trillion, which is ridiculous, but we're still going to spend 7 trillion or 10 trillion. Who knows what they're really spending? Let's say 10 trillion. Where are you getting the 5 trillion from? Well, we're going to get some people to buy our missiles and our weapons. So we'll create fake wars. And then we're going to have, well, geez, yeah, we can't really tax to get the extra 2 or 3 trillion that we're going to spend more than our budget. We'll just print the money. And when they do that, obviously, that's the inflation, is printing the money, inflating the money supply, making the money worthless. So now it takes more dollars to buy Pepsis and Cokes and Oreo cookies. And that's why you think prices are going up, and it just is the dollar losing its value. Now we're being 5 steps ahead of the game, have already seen this coming, and have already bought gold and silver up the ass to protect ourselves from this travesty of, is not any intelligent life form in the government, apparently. So they just keep printing without knowing that it'll make the dollar worthless. And so they keep printing and printing, and everything's fine. Oh, inflation's only 2%. That's the biggest lie I've ever heard in my life. First of all, you can't measure how much more dollars you printed in terms of a percent. Not possible. And it's certainly not year over year. And it's certainly, it's the value of the dollar has collapsed. And that's really what is the inflation. So somehow they've got this, well, it's inflation is money is prices going up. Somehow they've diluted it to prices going up instead of money being printed. And that's what happened in the Romans. They took the gold and silver. When they had it, there was no inflation. As soon as they pulled the gold and silver out of the coins, because they wanted, the emperors wanted the gold and silver for themselves, then the value of the dollar went to zero. And then the Ottomans came in and destroyed Rome because their troops were paid in gold, and the Romans weren't getting paid in gold, didn't fight. I'm not risking my life without, give me an ounce of gold. So this is the problem. Printing the money is not an answer, and it is the inflating the supply, but the prices aren't inflation. So if oil goes up because there's a shortage, it's not inflation. It's oil going up. It's prices going up because you got a shortage. And gold going up because there's huge demand and you can't print anymore is not inflation. These guys who think prices are inflation really don't understand what inflation is. You're inflating the money supply. You're creating too much money and it loses value. It is not too many dollars chasing too few goods. I don't know what that means, Milton Friedman. It makes 0 sense. That is not inflation. Maybe what he meant was you printed too many dollars, but it's not chasing too few goods. It's you printed the dollar to zero. I don't understand why that concept's such a difficult one. Why you think you can keep printing 2 trillion a year or we need money, we're just going to print, and government spending, we're going to build roads. How many trillions is that? And we'll just print money to do it. We'll just print money to pay for the government employees and the teachers. And we'll just print money for Social Security and the interest on the debt. Everything will be fine. We'll just print money for it. We can just keep printing money. You can, but the value of the money is not worth anything. And why this concept is so difficult for people, I really don't understand what part of that is difficult. And I always go to the chocolate cake. Well, if you eat 5 chocolate cakes a day, you're probably going to get fat and die of diabetes. So you can't just print money and have no consequence. And it is not year over year. It is nowhere near 2%. Nor do you care if it's what percent it is. You just know you printed a shitload of money and the money's lost its value. Now, me and Egon disagree. He says 99%. I say 100%. I say this money has no value at all. He says, well, it's lost 99%. And now we've got to lose the final 1%. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? The money has no value now. That's why when you go to the grocery store, things are very expensive because it takes more dollars to buy the cornflakes. It's not that they raised the price of the cornflakes. Your dollar's worthless, so it takes $5 to buy a box of Cheerios instead of $1.50, which is what it should be. And you can always go back into the 60s and you see how cheap things were. McDonald's was 50 cents for a hamburger, and it was probably a real hamburger. And now they, to cut costs, take a lot of the ingredients out of the food, and then the dollar's worthless. So they just charge you that, $7 for a hamburger at McDonald's. Fuck you. It's not even real meat. So this is the problem. And that's all, but it's every country. Russia, now Dario, well, yeah, food's going up in price. And, it's ridiculous. So anyway, that's what's happening. And that's it's a mystery how people buy that its prices. And it goes back to the people don't think, oh, it's 4th and 2, I'm supposed to go for it. There's no thought process going into that action. And I'm under the impression that it's all these young kids. I'll be in the swimming pool and the kid runs into me and he said, and he thinks if he says he's sorry, then everything's okay. Well, I said, I'm sorry. And I go, no, you're not. I go, didn't you see me swimming for the last half hour? And they're like, they just do what they want. And if you're swimming into them, they just think sorry is a way out. They can't critically think. In other words, instead of seeing me swimming laps and running laps, saying, I better get out of the way, I better go on the other side, they just do their own little thing, and there's no thought process at all. And if they hit me, well, sorry will be the answer to that. I'm sorry. And you're like, that's not the answer. Why aren't you recognizing I'm swimming these laps? And I just feel that this is the problem with most people now. They go to school and they don't teach critical thinking. They don't question. They just accept what the teacher says. And it's just going to be a nightmare. Fortunately, with gold and silver, and I case in point, try to prove the point all the time, right? I'm going overboard proving the point so you can understand. I don't want you to just, Howard said to buy gold, so I'm going to buy it. I want you to understand why you're buying gold. And I bring up as many examples as I can to make it clear to you. So when your daughter, in Bobby's case, when his daughter asked, well, you can't take gold to the grocery store. I love that one. Well, I don't want gold. You can't take it to the grocery store. Well, you can't take money to the grocery store soon either. So it's just funny, but gold is worth so much more. So I think the gold value right now, I would guess it at $15,000 an ounce if we had a real physical market. And I hope that's coming. And that's what BRICS is, and China and Russia. That's what they want. So I think we will be there. I think that'll help us get to that point, and we will see. But BRICS understands gold. Thank God for that. So the U.S. doesn't, and you know, we can see what's going to happen. It's going to be a nightmare for the U.S. and Western Europe and the UK and Canada and France and Germany and Italy. They're all bankrupt. Now I think Germany's smart enough after what happened to have gold after 1923. They can remember it. But the rest, I don't know. I think France has some gold. They were stealing gold from Africa, and that guy came in and said, not anymore. And France isn't. So they've kind of raped Africa for a while. And now Africa's getting mad. And now Africa has a lot of gold there. It's coming out with a gold-backed currency, which is good. Now Africa will really boom. Probably the place to go to because it's so dormant. And when I watch The Amazing Race and they go to Africa, they always show you the jungle and the plains and the lions running and the elephants running. And everybody, oh, it's so cute, a baby elephant. Oh, I'm too stupid to go to a zoo in America and see one. But it's different here. They can actually kill me because they're not in a cave or in a cage. And you just sit there and why isn't this developed? Where's the running water? Why are they living in huts and have spears? Why is Africa so underdeveloped? And that's what the gold standard will do for them, and they'll be real countries. Now some like what Egypt's obviously developed, and Morocco's developed. It's just some of the interior doesn't know it's 2026 right now. When the dollar goes out, doesn't matter. We know it's going out because we know they can't just keep printing it. And as you can see, nobody wants our treasuries. And these wars are to get you to buy the treasuries and to buy the weapon. Let's create a war, and then you need to protect yourself. So you got to go to Raytheon and buy missiles at $10 million a missile or whatever. What a facade that is. And all these excuses they come up with. Well, they might have a nuclear weapon. Who cares? They're not going to use it. Nobody uses. North Korea has a nuclear weapon. They don't use it. Nobody has it because of the retaliation. So it's just to say you have it, but you never use it. So who cares if Iran has a nuclear weapon? They're not gonna. What are they going to nuke us? And how big is it? I watched 24. It went like 10 miles, a 10-mile radius for Jackie Bauer. That was it. We nuked Japan. They seem to recover off of that. Half their people are pitchers on the Dodgers. So that's not a big deal. That's not why you go to war. The Straits of Hormuz were open. Now you've closed them. Was that done on purpose? So now the oil price will go up. And so Trump and his buddies who are buying oil stocks can make a lot of money, and everybody starves because of that. Is that how corrupt our politicians are? We don't care as long as we make money. That's how Trump is. He doesn't care as long as he makes money. But again, not knowing that the money's not worth anything. That's the punchline. Well, I made a lot of money in the stocks or Bitcoin or whatever, stable coin. Yeah, but the money's not worth anything. You lose. And that's the real, we'll get the last laugh of these people in the paper markets, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and these idiots. At the end of the day, they're still in paper and we're in gold, and they lose. So that's the key. And they don't want to understand it, or they're not taught it, or they're not critical thinkers. You always think, what's going on? What's happening? Why is it happening? Why is there Straits of Hormuz close? Are they, because they know the oil price will go up? So how stupid can you be? Why are you really doing it? Why do you really want higher oil prices? Does that make any sense? It's just like this analytics, right? It's about spin rate. Why is it about spin rate? That doesn't mean you're going to throw strikes, and that doesn't mean you're getting anybody out, because you can throw a slider good. Maybe you could throw a slider with a slower spin rate. Maybe it's about speed and location, like Greg Maddox, not Nolan Ryan. So that's really the key to it. So you got to ask yourself, what are they doing? Why are we at war with every country? And the real reason is because we're broke, and we're trying to notice we go after oil countries, Iran and Venezuela and Russia, to steal their oil and gold because we're broke. That's what these wars are really about, but nobody will say it. Then they kind of paint these pictures over. They're pitching over here. We're here because we're bankrupt, and they're over here trying to fake everybody out. Well, they have a nuclear weapon. It's got nothing to do with it. You want their oil and their gold. That's why you took out the leader, was to then put in your own leader to steal their oil, but they were prepared for you. So instead of running away, you keep this war going. So somebody has to keep buying missiles because you think that'll get the inflation away and that'll help the economy, which it won't. So it's just really pathetic that these people are running our country into the ground, and it won't come back because you've killed our dollar. The only thing you're supposed to protect is us and the dollar, and you can't do either. You're pathetic. But the problem is, who's the next? All I hear are these commercials. There's an election on Tuesday, and all I hear is, well, I'll lower the prices. I'll lower the cost. I'll do that. You can't do that. More idiots who don't know what they're doing. You can't lower. If I came in, I couldn't lower prices or cost. I could bring in a gold-backed currency, which would automatically lower everything because it would now be priced in gold if they didn't kill me for trying, because all these corrupt guys want to keep the dollar going, including the mafia. You go to a casino, you run with dollars, you buy drugs, you buy dollars. So they don't want to have, oh, he bought some cocaine. What do you mean he paid with a credit card? We can't take credit cards. Then everybody will know what we do. So this is the problem. So it's a real dangerous time. We are bankrupt. And again, the market is, does somebody want our product, and nobody wants the missiles and the guns and everything. And then you got to set the price that people will trade for. And then the inflation is just the money's being printed to death. It's not prices. So those are the things I keep harboring about. Because you're going to see a lot of companies go out of business because they think they can charge more, and they can't. McDonald's wants to charge $20 for a hamburger. They'll be out of business in 5 minutes because nobody's going to go there and pay $20. Yet they'll have all this food and all the employees and all these buildings that they owe on that they won't be able to pay. They only can pay if they sell the hamburgers, which they won't be able to do. Even these ice cream, the Dairy Queens, are very expensive now. They're like, fuck, I can go buy a tub at the grocery store for $3 for one of these. I don't know if it's a gallon or whatever, but you want to charge $6 for a sundae. Are you out of your mind? I can go to the grocery store for $3 and get three of these little ice cream in the sticks. So why would I pay you $6 for a sundae? I mean, it's insane. All these little Dairy Queens will go out of business because who's going to buy them? So again, you've got to understand your competition. If somebody else is selling your product, somebody else is handicapping football. And I know they're not as good as me, and I try to put my prices at a reasonable price for the return you're going to get. You're going to make a lot of money on it. And I know that because I've been doing it since 1977. So there you go. You can pay somebody else a little less, but you're not getting the quality of the pick I'm giving you. So therefore, you can pay for, oh, it's only $20 here. Yeah, and you go lose $500 listening to these idiots. Like I said, one guy, I gave a big lock and it won. He said, well, I got Clemson, a big bet on Clemson. You're like, I didn't give you Clemson. What are you doing? So you're losing a lot of money listening to some guy who is not as skillful as me because he only cost you $20 because you assume all the handicappers are like me and they're not. I'm in a league by myself, and that's what you have to understand. But I'm going to make you the money, so you keep going with that. And I've been doing it for year after year after year, and I make money every year. So you got to realize that I know what I'm doing. But again, I've got to reach the point where the market is. I can't sell my pick. Maybe I can for $1,000 a weekend. Maybe I can, but I don't think so. I haven't gotten to that point yet, or I haven't gotten the right buyers yet. So anyway, that's where we're at. So understand your market. A lot of these companies are going to go out of business because they can't cover their costs. The costs are going up, but they can't sell it for what they need. So if the cost goes to 10, they need to sell it for 15. They can only sell it for 5. They're fucked. So they have to go out of business because they can't recover the 15 they need to recover. So that's the problem. So anyway, go gold, go silver. That's our counter move. That it will take care of us. It will, as the costs go up, so will that eventually. They can try to keep it down, but they won't be able to. Too many people will start going into gold and silver. And eventually COMEX will blow up because of China's with their gold-backed currency and their gold-backed trading. It has to be physical. The physical trading will blow up COMEX. Or COMEX will have to match it because too many people will arbitrage it saying, all right, give me the 100 ounces. I want to buy that contract. What do you mean you don't have it? And then they're fucked. Then they're going to have to come up with the 100 ounces. And then I'm going to take it to China and go, oh, I can get $5,000. I can get 7,500 for the ounce that I just bought for 4,500. So you can't keep COMEX going. So it's blowing up. It's going to take a little bit of time because COMEX, the banks, they're going to cry and moan, but too bad. The Chinese banks are bigger anyway, and so they want a higher gold price. And we will see. So that's what's going on. Enjoy your baseball today. Again, Philadelphia, Cincinnati, and Houston are your plays. Good luck on those. And trying to teach you what to look for. Baseball, we've narrowed it down. It's not the team anymore. You're not betting the team. You're betting the pitcher. And then you dig down, you're betting the pitcher's last 6 games. And you say, oh, wow, he's hot. And a lot of these lately have been win 2, lose 2, win 2, lose 2. Where before I was getting guys winning 7, 8 in a row. I don't see that very often anymore. It's win 2, lose 2. And we're looking at their runs, and then we're going, oh, let's go under. This guy hasn't given up 2 runs in the last 6 games. It's a little bit of the matchup, and it's a little bit of the pitcher, and that's what we're looking for. Anyway, that's it. Pro football. I gotta. Where the fuck are the lines? I can't believe Scores and Odds does not give us our lines. Right now, Scores and Odds does, but they don't give us our college lines. I mean, what the fuck is that all about? Oh, no, they do too. No, college is fine. It's Yahoo doesn't. Okay, no, I got my lines. So anyway, if you take week 1, you get the 8 games in week 1A with all the games in week 1B. So it's 2 for 1. And I'll have plays in both. And then it'll carry into the pro week 1. So to be college week 1A, college week 1B, and the pro week 1. I'll be week 1. So that'll be like $100. You get all that. And you get the locks if there is any. There should be. I've seen a few. And that's it. I'm much more art than science. I don't believe science works. I believe art works. I believe science is just formulas, and you just pick based on the formula. You try to take emotion out of it, and the key is the emotion and your gut instinct of what you think will win. Anyway, I think that's about it. I did hear from Daria a few days, so I'm pretty excited with that. And that's it. So I don't know. We're waiting for the war to end, I guess. And be very hard for me to go to Russia now. I couldn't use my money, and I couldn't. I don't even know if I could get in, or if they'd put me in jail because I'm an American, and you're obviously a spy. So I don't want to really risk that. Um, and we'll see. So otherwise, just relax, enjoy your week. We're in August, so here we go. All right. www.teaserking.com. Again, baseball is $25 for the week if you want that. Football starts really August 25th, I think, would be to buy, and buying the year is the best. It's just $7.50. It's really $35 a week because you get 22 weeks, right? You get all the pros and then the playoffs through the Super Bowl. So that's your best price, and you'll win a lot of money. All right. Okay, so have a good day. Again, inflation is not 2%. Don't think it is. The money's worthless. Run and buy gold and silver at these cheap prices. All right. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday.